Bitcoin is not necessarily the fastest horse in the race. It's the least risky. Could Ethereum or Solana or a mix of those do that faster? For sure. So I've seen people go from 10 grand to a millionaire in less than a year in this space. Crypto's a complete paradigm shift. And so what it means is anybody can put in 10% of their monthly wage, however rich you are, and you can compound wealth at 100% a year, let's say. Okay, that's really powerful, even though it goes up and down a lot. So it can go down 70%, 80%, but over time, it just keeps going up. And that's based on the fact that it's essentially a network of money. The more people who join it, the more the value goes up because we're buying it. And the more activity that happens, the more valuable this whole thing gets. And then there are other cryptocurrencies that came, like Ethereum, that give you a smart contract, which is a whole way of programming the internet all over again. What we're creating is not only a new internet, but also the internet of money itself. So we're creating a whole new layer that people don't see yet, but really it's just the future of the internet where money is embedded within it and value. So we talked about how you and I could get paid to capture our attention. This comes all on these rails. So if we're transitioning into this new system and we can all buy a bit of it, we can all make quite a lot of money.
Macro investor Raoul Pal believes the cryptocurrency market has entered a longer than usual bull cycle, which could extend into 2026 as global liquidity expands and debt pressures intensify. He stated that this cycle has more room to run than we think, adding that Ethereum appears poised to regain momentum against Bitcoin. Bonds and cash fall below this threshold, while cryptocurrencies preserve and increase their purchasing power over time. Paul stated that Bitcoin has grown approximately 130% annually since 2012, despite significant declines of 64%, 73%, and 56%. Ethereum has grown approximately 133% compounded annually and has consistently outperformed Bitcoin in previous cycles. Early-stage networks like Solana and Sui have seen larger gains during adoption phases. Paul asserts that concentrated cryptocurrency exposure could be more effective than broad diversification in this environment. According to Raoul Pal, it's your turn to convert 10K to 1 million with Ethereum and Solana. Before we move forward, if you want to stay updated with the latest crypto events and news, you can subscribe to our channel and like this video. Now, let's get back to Raoul Pal's view on Solana and the overall crypto market.
You just need to put some money into crypto. Particularly if you're young, you can take risk. It can go up and down. And we'll talk about the crypto risk curve and, but that guy's made 100x and he made 1,000x and I need to do that. You don't need to do all of that stuff. If you're not careful, that's how you lose your money. You just need to buy some high quality assets and do nothing. Look at all the rich people in the world. Did they trade to get there? Most of them didn't. Jeff Bezos just held Amazon shares. Elon Musk just held a few company shares and just holding on and letting the gains compound.
Benjamin Cowan, founder and CEO of Cryptoverse, believes that despite closely monitoring its price in 2020, Bitcoin is unlikely to extend its rally beyond this year. Cowan highlighted similar price action between Bitcoin's September 2020 rally and that of last month. He noted that Bitcoin remained within the bull market support zone through September, just as it had 5 years prior. This resulted in 2 weeks of rising prices, followed by 2 weeks of sideways movement. Interestingly, Bitcoin closed September 2020 down 7.5% compared to 5.30% gain the previous month. However, its close correlation with weekly price action and the trend around bull market supports allows Bitcoin to reach new highs as in 2020. For comparison, Bitcoin rose 168% from its closing price of $10,779 in September 2020 to reach $28,980 in December 2020. Cohen anticipates a similar surge and predicts new all-time highs before the end of the year. Despite this bullish outlook, Cohen believes Bitcoin will reach its cyclical peak this year. After closing the year around $29,000, Bitcoin reached $69,000 in November 2021, marking the cycle's peak. However, the cryptocurrency founder believes Bitcoin won't extend its bullish trend next year. He expects Bitcoin to follow its historical cycle and reach its peak during the fourth quarter of 2025. According to Paul, cryptocurrencies can help us gradually become richer and shed light on macroeconomic trends. Beginners often fall into the get-rich-quick trap, but this mentality is actually dangerous. Envying others for achieving 100x returns is already risky. Losing your sanity and giving into greed can quickly ruin your investment. Strategy's Bitcoin strategy creates leverage in the system. Strategy buys Bitcoin by issuing convertible bonds, which is equivalent to selling options at a lower cost. These institutions are experienced in risk management and can benefit from systemic support. Their position sizes are reasonably controlled and are not subject to liquidation. From a macroeconomic perspective, the cryptocurrency industry is currently worth $3 trillion. Assuming it reaches $100 trillion in the next 10 years, it will create a colossal wealth of $97 trillion. Even if it is conservatively estimated to reach $50 trillion, it will also generate an additional $47 trillion. Ethereum could bring a new narrative to the market and outperform Bitcoin in the short term. Over the next 5 years, barring a real disaster, its importance will grow. It's a game of attention. Attention to key tokens is scattered and many narratives are relatively short-lived. Paul emphasized that holding Bitcoin is always a smart move. Additionally, buying Solana late in the cycle and buying SUI last year are also good strategies. Investors should focus on the top 10 to 20 tokens, favoring projects that can continuously increase network adoption and generally offer greater investment value. According to Metcalfe's law, a project potential can be assessed based on criteria such as the number of active users, total transaction value, and user value. Paul claims that two of the crypto industry's most followed historical altcoins, XRP and Dogecoin, are preparing for their next leg up. Considered the waiting room of crypto, Paul claims that much of the market is consolidating ahead of another rally, with capital already fully poured into Ethereum and rotation risk accumulating for lower-tier assets. Regarding the crypto waiting room, many key players in the crypto ecosystem are waiting, ready for the launch. He opens a dense series of charts that he says are based on the global macro investor parabolic framework. He placed Total 3, the market excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, ready for launch, while emphasizing that others are still waiting, but their launch will take longer, he added. Ethereum, full port. Solana, next to leave the waiting room. Next to leave the waiting room, followed by Solana. He was explicit about the two crowd favorites, Doge, waiting. Full port will happen when the others do, and XRP, currently fully behaving. You have to learn patience. The path is clear, but never expect absolute perfection. It's the structure that matters. He cautioned about the infamous M2 money supply chart, emphasizing that GMI's approach is to look for the rhythm and harmonies of the markets rather than identical chart overlays.